Before we preview Ohio State versus Texas in the CFP semifinal, if you want the Buckeyes to beat Texas, like I assume every single person watching right now does, show it by liking the video right now. It is Ohio State against Texas in the CFP semifinals. That'll be on Friday, January 10th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff time. We'll see if it actually starts then. It seemingly never does. Over under 7:45 for the real kickoff, by the way. The line has changed. It's up to 5.5, and it might continue to go in favor of Ohio State. I'm old enough to remember when Brett McMurphy tweeted out near the end of the Ohio State game, projected line is Texas -2. Yeah, off by a full touchdown there, buddy. When I got betted up in favor of OSU because they look dominant right now. Updated scoring offense, scoring defense numbers. Two of the best defenses in college football against two of the better offenses in CFP. Ohio State right now, though, as we'll get into, looks better on both sides of the ball. It has been a dominant start to the CFP for the Buckeyes. Injury-wise, for the most part here, everything looks pretty good. Cameron Williams is the one notable player on both sides that hasn't already been ruled out for the year, obviously. That's worth monitoring. He did not play against Arizona State with the knee injury, was in pads. I think 50-50 at best right now for Williams playing against Texas, or for Texas against Ohio State. Let's talk keys to victory here for the Buckeyes, and I'm going to go with the quarterback to get things started here, and that is the CFP run that Will Howard is on makes its return. I have been very impressed by what Will Howard has done in two games against two great teams, Tennessee and Oregon. He is up to 72.6 completion percentage, almost 3,500 yards, 32 scores and 9 touchdowns. But look at what he has done specifically in the two biggest games of his college football career. He has delivered 74.5 completion rate, and it's like he's boosting his stats against Akron and Western Michigan. No, he's doing it against the best of the best in college football. 34 yards on the ground, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. The Ohio State offense is dropping 40 burgers left and right and putting games out of hand in the first half. Now, I would expect a much tougher test against Texas, even if Texas kind of struggled a little bit down the stretch against Arizona State. What is your confidence level in beating Texas? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1, the low end, you're melting down. You think it's going to be a loss for the Buckeyes. 10 being not a doubt in your mind. You've boosted the line. You're taking Ohio State by 50. Let me know at the pinned comments of today's show. The ad comes here on YouTube. Take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Key to victory number 2, feeding Jeremiah Smith. Now, Texas has some good players. Jahdae Barron is one of my favorite guys to watch in college football as just an objective college football fan and NFL draft fan too. Jeremiah is better. I don't know how many better CFB players there are right now. He is up past the 1,200-yard mark for the season, 70 catches, 14 touchdowns, and in probably what is not a coincidence with Will Howard playing so well, Jeremiah Smith is also playing out of his mind right now. 17 targets in the CFP for 13 catches, 290 yards. That's 12.223 on average, 4 touchdowns. And it could have been more if the games weren't out of hand well before the fourth quarter kicked off in both of the CFP first round and in the quarterfinals. Keep throwing the ball to Jeremiah Smith. I have yet to see a player in college who can cover him. And I'm a big fan of Barron. He can't cover Jeremiah Smith by himself. So even if there's double teams, give Jeremiah Smith shots. And if there is double teams and it's not working, you got Emeka Egbuka, you got Carnell Tate, you got G. Scott, you got Henderson, you got Judkins. This is an immensely talented OSU team. But make sure your number one guy gets the ball early and often. Number 3, key to victory is harassing Quinn Ewers. And I think it was very weird, especially from an NFL draft perspective, of, Rappaport, Schefter, NFL Network guys all tweeting out, wow, big play by Quinn Ewers. It helped his draft stock. Clearly coordinated out of the Ewers camp, by the way. He is not good under pressure. And I continue to be whelmed by Quinn Ewers' play, even in a revenge game against Ewers. What I have not been whelmed by is the play of this front four. In particular, that starting unit, Jack Sawyer, Ty Hamilton, Tyleik Williams, JTT, have been awesome this year. And especially in the CFP, where they were, I forget which CFP analyst was like, wow, I rewatched it. Was surprised how much Ohio State didn't blitz against Oregon. Yeah, they were winning with 4. And when you win with 4 at any level of football, you're going to have success. Sawyer, Hamilton, Williams, and JTT have to heat up Quinn Ewers because that is where he will make mistakes. He is not a consistent deep ball thrower. He struggles with that on a pretty consistent basis. Take away the short stuff. Make him push the ball downfield. Do not fall for Sark's tricks and bells and whistles and misdirection stuff. Stay steady and make Ewers beat you under pressure. The numbers drop off, like most quarterbacks, significantly under pressure, under 53%, 525 yards, more interceptions than touchdowns, and he'll take sacks. Quinn Ewers, the ankle is maybe a factor in this. It's been banged up this year. Has not done a good job of avoiding sacks. He's got a pretty high pressure to sack rate, and given the way Ohio State's gotten pressure early and off him, that could bode well for the Buckeyes. Today's show is made possible by Game Time. They got a new feature. It's called Game Time Picks. Makes getting tickets to see your favorite events even easier. It filters out the fluff to only show you incredible deals on great seats, so you don't waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. With the College Football Playoff here, there is no better platform to use to get tickets, whether it is for the CFP Semifinals or maybe the National Championship coming up later on. Download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create your account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. That's gametime.co, promo code CHATSPORTS. Number 4, key to victory for me is bottling up this Texas Longhorns ground game. And Texas has been very streaky with their running attack. Now remember, college football, sacks are a negative. We mentioned Quinn Ewers taking sacks. Against Arizona State, Texas had 53 yards on the ground for 1.8 average, which is horrible. Clemson, 292, 6.1 average. Georgia, 31 at 1.1. A&M, 5.2 for 243. And guess which 2 games they won? Guess which game they almost lost, and which game they did lose. Texas has 3 different backs, 2 mostly, that will get carries. The top 3 backs have combined for over 2,000 yards this year. Trey Wisner, Jaden Blue, Jarrett Gibson. What you've seen when Texas has been on their game, especially the last 2 weeks, they have had success not trying to run the ball over and over again up the middle, which I know we are familiar with from the Michigan game, but trying to get to the edges and doing outside zone stuff and stretches and tosses and wide zone runs to get their players on the move and get some cutback lanes and to get to the edges and run behind guys like Kelvin Banks and not rely on any guard group that's been a little bit shaky as of late. So if I were Texas, I would be trying to attack the edges of Ohio State. If I were Ohio State, I would be prepared for that as well. So give me your score prediction of Texas against Ohio State. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. We'll get to mine at the end of today's video. Number 5, especially when you're playing a good team, special teams matter. And I make a lot of jokes about college kickers, but that's been a factor in a lot of the CFP games this year. In fact, Texas, almost lost the game because of special teams. We'll talk about Burt Auburn here in a second. They also had the massive punt return touchdown that might have been a different game if they hadn't taken that one to the house. So they started hot and then very much cooled off after that. Jaden Fielding has been shaky this year, especially as of late. Was fine against Oregon, had issues against Michigan. He's 73.3% on field goals. Now, he's been perfect on extra points this year. I do think he is the better kicker in this game because Carrot Top for Texas, Burt Auburn, is at 64%. And he has struggled down the stretch. Kicking is often a mental aspect. If you're not confident, you're going to have issues. You saw Burt Auburn miss a potential game winner right. And then the next kick, although the laces were not out, the laces were left. ESPN missed that on the broadcast. They were out to the left, by the way. They hooked it left and dunked it off the upright. He's missed a lot of kicks this year. He's at 64% this season. If this comes down to a narrow game, which I do think it does, the kicking battle might end up being a big deal. And if you're Texas, boy, it's tough to have confidence in Auburn, which, to be fair, isn't a statement that's been said since Cam Newton. Get it? Maybe Lamb? I don't know. All right, my score prediction here before we sign off. I do think Ohio State wins. I think this is a fantastic CFP semifinal that goes all the way down to the wire. But Steve Sarkisian has shown it many a time. In tight games, his team will make the big mistake. Give me Ohio State to win 30-27.